Hayden Panettiere's mother is putting their turbulent relationship back under the spotlight, with Lesley Vogel now directly pushing back against her late daughter's claims of abuse. In an interview published by the Daily Mail on August 22nd, Lesley addressed allegations Hayden had made about her childhood and insisted she was a demanding mother, but not an abusive one. She said, "I was strong, definitely, but I was not abusive by any stretch of the imagination." Her comments come after Hayden spoke candidly about their complicated relationship during a May appearance on Shetty's On Purpose podcast while promoting her memoir, This Is Me, A Reckoning. And in that memoir, Hayden made several deeply personal claims about growing up under her mother's intense expectations. She described Lesley as a perfectionist and alleged that her mother once superglued a fallen tooth back into her mouth because she did not want Hayden to lose a job. Hayden also wrote that her mother pushed her toward more traditionally girly clothing, even though she preferred a tomboy style. But Lesley now says the pressure Hayden felt was not something she deliberately placed on her daughter. Instead, she believes Hayden put that pressure on herself. Lesley told the Daily Mail, "I think that Hayden put pressure on herself. I know that she has mentioned, always had to please mom or make sure it was, I succeeded or whatever. I didn't put that on her. I think she put that on herself." And Lesley went further, arguing that parents simply cannot force very young children to perform or succeed in a particular way. Try making a 2 to 5-year-old child do something they don't want to do. Are you going to be successful? No, you're not, probably 99% of the time. That defense comes as scrutiny of the mother-daughter relationship intensifies following Hayden's death at 36, just days before her 37th birthday on August 21st. Hayden had used her final years to speak increasingly openly about the painful chapters of her life, including her relationship with her mother. Her memoir became the vehicle for many of those revelations, but Lesley had already pushed back against some of Hayden's claims. After the memoir was released in May, Lesley told Page Six that she believed some of Hayden's revelations were partially to sell books. She also described the agony of watching a child struggle, while insisting that a parent cannot always control the outcome. Lesley said, "No parent hopes for this scenario. We want our children to be the best they can be and live peaceful, joyful lives. But," she added, "sadly, this is out of our control." Her most striking line was even more blunt: "You cannot save someone who does not want to be saved." Now, Lesley is once again attempting to draw a line between being a tough, demanding mother and being an abusive one. Her version of events is that Hayden's drive to please her came from Hayden herself, rather than from deliberate pressure imposed by her mother. But that clashes sharply with some of the picture Hayden painted in her memoir, and the dispute is not new. Before the latest Daily Mail interview, Lesley had already spoken to the fractured relationship to Entertainment Tonight. In that interview, Lesley acknowledged that she and Hayden had become estranged, but she insisted that the distance between them was not because she had stopped caring for or loving her daughter.
Hayden Panettiere's mother is breaking her silence again, and this time she is pointing directly to what she calls a toxic individual in her daughter's life. The new statement comes after her first reaction to Hayden's death sparked intense backlash. Lesley Vogel told Entertainment Tonight that although she and Hayden were estranged, it was not because she stopped caring for or loving her daughter. Vogle says the estrangement was connected to the involvement of someone she believes was toxic to Hayden. In her latest statement, Vogle said she believes that individual led to her death. She did not name the person in this new statement, but her earlier comments identified Hayden's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson. Vogle also claimed that Hayden had become involved with the wrong person and said her family had tried to remove him from her life but were ultimately unsuccessful. Vogle is also pointing to a new development in the case. The Drug Enforcement Administration has joined the investigation. She says that makes her believe there are still unanswered questions surrounding what happened. But Brian Hickerson's attorney is pushing back on the speculation. In a statement, his lawyer said Hayden's death remains under investigation and urged people to allow authorities to complete that process. The attorney also pointed to police reports saying there were no signs of foul play, while declining to comment further out of respect for Hayden's loved ones and the ongoing investigation. According to page 6, police records say Brian's brother, Zach Hickerson, found Hayden's body on a chair while Brian was reportedly sleeping in another room. Zach reportedly referred to Hayden as Brian's girlfriend while speaking with authorities. Hayden and Brian had been linked on and off since 2018 in a relationship that had previously been marked by allegations and cases involving domestic violence. Vogle's latest statement comes after her first public reaction was heavily criticized. In that initial statement, she directly named Brian Hickerson and said her family had been trying to get him out of Hayden's life for some time. But Vogle's latest comments are now putting Hayden's troubled relationship with Brian Hickerson back under the spotlight.
Hayden Panettiere's mother is breaking her silence following the actress's heartbreaking death, and she is now publicly speaking about the man she says the family had been trying to get out of her daughter's life. Hayden died on Sunday, August 16th, at the age of 36, after she was found unresponsive and in cardiac arrest at a Greenville, South Carolina residence. Her cause of death has not yet been confirmed. But Hayden's mother, Lesley Vogel, told NBC News that the person the family had been trying to get rid of for some time was Brian Hickerson, and that he was with Hayden when she died. Lesley also reflected on her daughter's life and career, describing Hayden as an incredibly talented person, while acknowledging how difficult growing up in the entertainment industry can be. This person in her life that we have been trying to get rid of for quite some time was with her at her death, and that was Brian Hickerson. There is a lot of history in the past that Brian has enabled Hayden many times, and this is why her father and I had been concerned for him for a long time. I think Hayden was an amazingly talented person in so many departments, and I think young people who grow up in the entertainment industry, it is a struggle, and it's a very challenging industry, and it's not unusual for them to sadly find the wrong path. I think it becomes very difficult to be true to yourself, and I think Hayden sadly lost her way, and I wish it were different. I wish she had stayed true to herself because she had many incredible attributes. I just feel that she's with her brother, and they're at peace. But her comments about Brian come against the backdrop of a deeply troubled relationship. Hayden and Brian first met through mutual friends in Los Angeles around 2018. After Hayden split from her former fiancé, Vladimir Klitschko. Their relationship later became turbulent, with Hayden accusing Brian of physical abuse and seeking legal protection from him. Brian was arrested multiple times over domestic violence allegations involving Hayden between 2019 and 2020. In July 2020, Hayden requested a restraining order against him. After that decision, Hayden publicly said she was prepared to do her part to make sure Brian never hurt anyone again. And years later, Hayden described an alleged incident in her memoir in which she said Brian beat her so severely that she was unable to leave the house for several weeks. She wrote that she did not report the incident at the time because she did not want the situation to become public. The hostility between Brian and Hayden's family was also public. In a past interview with TMZ, Brian lashed out at Hayden's mom, Lesley, calling her one of the worst people he had ever met, and saying he could not deal with her. Now, after Hayden's death, those old tensions are coming back into focus. Because according to police reporting, Brian and his brother, Zach Hickerson, were reportedly at the South Carolina Airbnb when Hayden went into cardiac arrest, and the details of what happened at that scene are now drawing even more attention. you.